Hello, I thought I'd do a video about one of my applications for the PC, well, a Windows application. It's my little image pixel editor. It's for doing editing single pixels on for these. If you're creating a small font or well, any font or a small image for one of these little displays, like for the Arduino, say this display like 120. It's only 128 by 64 pixels. So you may want to modify an image so it looks better than just scaling down. So I'll bring it up. I didn't do much instruction, so I thought it's time I did some anyways. So this is it. We'll start with new. You can see that the new button is green. There's a bit of colour coding with this just to help. So new is got green text. So if we look over here, you see that the change size has got green text. So basically, what that means is everything in this box here refers to when you create a new. So if I was to create a new image, say if I went 256 by 128. And then I went new, it would create a new image this size. You can see the size here. All the blue text is just information. It just gives you information about it. And when you move over the mouse, you can see that this is giving me the X and Y position and the number of pixels. So if we go down to the bottom corner here, there, you can see that our position and the number of pixels. If I zoom in, well, if we go sort of 60 and then go to the... When you zoom in to a certain extent, it will actually show you the pixels and it'll come up. So if we move down there we go. So we've got like our Y position going up and down. So 122, 124, 25, 26, 27. Now it says 127, but it would be, if you're using the first one is 0, then obviously it's 126. No, hang on, I got that wrong. It's in 127 because I've used 0. So it's got the 0, it starts at 0, so it's actually the 128th one, and the same going the other way. So we've got the pixel 255, it's because the first row is 0, or first column is 0, shall I say. So that's that, and we can also load an image in. So if I load one in, and if I take my logo, it's just a normal PNG file. It's an image. So you can actually import. Say you've got an image that is quite large, but it's got a nice picture on, or some sort of logo or something that you want to scale down to a smaller pixelated graphics, then you can load it in. It'll load a PNG file, no problem. So this is one I've actually made at 128 by 64, so we'll just bring that in. There it is, and I've got some magnification buttons at the bottom. We can zoom right in at 60, and then at 30. Then we can have like the full height if we want to see the full height and just scroll across, or we can make it the full width. These are just little quick zoom buttons basically, and then we can actually have a look at the actual size. So we also have a modify size button. So if this at the moment is 128 by 64, so let's say I wanted to increase it, double its size for a bigger screen or display. I could just type in there 256 128, and then I can modify the size, and it will increase the actual size. So if we look at the pixels, zoom in until we can actually look at the pixels. What I'll do is I pick one of the letters, and if we zoom in until it shows the actual pixels. So I'm going to scroll down to like that, the H there. You can see that this is made up of 4 pixels width. But if we go back to say 128 by 64 and modify it, that'll reduce the size by half, and we zoom in, and if we look at the H again now, you can see that it's only 2 pixels width. So you can actually, and it tells you the size, it's here, the overall size. So we go, you can see it's changed. So that's that bit anyway. If you want to modify, you just scroll in and you pick a colour. This is the colour and transparent. Well, I tend to use the transparent and black. With this one I've used the white because I've made it an inverted image. But normally I use black and transparent. But so if you want to make some modifications, you just click on the colour you want, and then you just go to the pixel and click, and you can modify it. And then obviously if you want to go white, you can just make it white. And if you want to make it transparent, you can make it transparent. Which is, there's not much difference between transparent and white when it comes to actually creating the bytes. When it creates the bytes, it'll see a transparent as a white, and it'll see a black as a black. It does not see, well, colour it'll see as a black as well. So if it was in colour, if you picked a colour and made it green, it would see the green as a black, because this program only does black and white. So let's just put all them back to white. And because we've edited, you can see that it's changed to red here, because originally we loaded it as my logo and so on. And so we can now save the image as a different image because it's edited, or you can just save it as what it was because you want to keep it there. And whatever path you've got here, if you want to have a look at see what other you've done, you can just open up your folder, and you can explore your folder as well. So that's all that button does there. It just opens the folder that you're currently in. So that's that area. And now you can see that also I have some orange. Well, actually I'll come back to that. Well, the orange ones refer to this when you're importing data. So let's say I have, I should have opened it first. Yeah, let's go with that. Right, so this is the font I've used in one of my little programs. So you can see that this is the G. So what I could do is, or if you've got some other code and you want to see what image they've used, we can actually just copy that. So I can copy that bit of hex there, hex data, which refers to, this is one of my fonts, or part of the font. And if we look at the G, so I've copied that, and we go back to our editor. What I'll do is clear data, and then you can just Control V and paste that data in. What you need to do to read that data is to know the width. So you can see that the width here, I know that it's 6. So we put a 6 in there, and if we want it, the bytes are going vertical. Well, I'll just load that in. So read file. So you can see that we're doing the data is vertical bytes. So basically what it's doing is reading a vertical byte. So it's going from 0 to 16 down here, because we've got the height. It's worked out the height. So it's not reading a byte going across this way. This is how normally fonts are written, in a vertical manner. So you have your first byte there, and your second byte there, and your third byte, and your fourth. Whereas some images may actually be in single bit ordered. So they basically go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and so on, and then 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So you've got the choice here of how you want to read it. So if this was actually selected and I read the data, we get basically garbage. So you need to know, well, you just click and then you can find out which format it's in. Also with single byte ordered index, you can have a low bit first. So it all depends how the data is actually sent to the display. It could have the low bit sent first and the high bit. So when you read data, it basically swaps it around. But anyway, so when you're reading data, it's this orange stuff. So you need to know whether it's 8 bits, 16 or 32. And it's hexadecimal. Well, no, it's not that one. Black and white. Well, this is for future updates. Is this? So basically, it's just making sure you've got the orange bits set before you read. So let's go back to our other. So we'll load our other one what we had in there. So just to give you an idea. So if I load that one in, and so basically, if I want all that converted into hexadecimal values. All you have to do is you just set how you want it. So I want it hexadecimal, it's black and white, and I want it in this order. And the bit size, I want it in 8-bit size. Some, the newer processor and stuff, you can handle 16 bits. So it depends what you want, and you can either invert it. So if the image looks like the picture of me is black and the text is black, then it will currently count the black bits as black. If you invert it, it will make the black bits white and the white bits black. So that's pretty much that. And this is just this is when you're actually coding. You only want so much on one line. Otherwise, you don't want one complete full line if it's a large an array, shall I say, or what have you. You can break it up into lines. So if I have 16 bytes on one line, and then it'll go to the next line. So basically, we can just go and get data. And you can see it reads it and it collects all the data, and so it's put 16. If you were to count all these going across there, it's put 16 per line. If I go in 1, 2, 3, 4, if I change that to 4, let's do that and get data. You can see it's only put 4 per line basically, and then. You can save that to disk, and you can save it as a data file or whatever you want, or just a normal text file, or you can copy it, and then so you can just, if you click copy, what it does, it copies everything there, and then you can just paste it into your code. So if I was putting some text in here, I can now just paste it in there basically, and well, I think you get the picture. Right, let's just undo that. Right, so I think I've just about covered everything. Yeah, before you paste anything in here, claim it if you're going to read it, and just have a play. I hope that's of some interest to somebody, and I hope somebody likes it. Thank you very much for watching, if you made it all the way to the end.